getting ready, right? At the race, the water is cold. So on that boat, you're just dancing around. That's all you're doing. You're keeping your core warm, you're stretching, you're doing things, you have your bands. You have them with you. You do them on the land before you got on the boat. You do as much as you can to be warmed up. Guys, a cold body, not warmed up, starting off an event at 100% output is the perfect formula for failure. Don't do it. Any more questions?
I would like to tie in the cold water and cold weather for early season, especially. I mean, for a long race, you have the wetsuit, you're fine. Especially for youth races, when they are very short swims, and it's really like 55 outside, 52 water, and they don't wear a wetsuit because they don't have the time to waste in transition. Should they still get in the water and face the cold, or are better off to use the bands?
No. It's a good question. It's a very good question. One, pretty soon coming, there are going to be rules in triathlon, I believe, to not allow races in water at those temperatures. There's a lot of safety rules coming down over the next few years, because we're implementing them now in swimming, and the national governing bodies are talking, and I think some of those rules are going to come into triathlon. So we're likely not going to see races in 52-degree water. But you were using a gross example.
Well, last year, the F1 races in San Diego, they were youth races. There were kids 12 to 15. Nobody was wearing a wetsuit. And it was 53. It was Shamu.
So let's use this example. It's 52 degrees. It's Shamu. It's a 200-meter swim. It's going to take 4 minutes to swim, or 5 minutes, right? Should you wear a wetsuit? The answer is yes. And here's why. One, you're going to swim a whole lot faster. Two, you're going to stay warmer. And if you practice, and if you're really good, it's going to take you 8 seconds to get out of your wetsuit. Okay? If you're not good, but you still practice, it'll take you 20 seconds. You will more than make those 20 seconds up in the speed wearing the wetsuit. And there's nothing worse, I think, I'm not a triathlete, there's nothing worse than getting on your bike and spending 30 minutes trying to get warm. You have no dexterity in your fingers. We've all been there, right? You have no feeling. Your body is cold, your ears are cold, your head is cold. So wear a wetsuit.
I'm new to the whole sport, so just your workouts in Tower 26 start in the summer, you said? So
The pool workouts are year-round. The beach workouts start around May or June.
So right now I should be doing pool workouts and then
Pool workouts.
find a coach, or just do pool workouts and then start coming in? What would you
You
recommend?
should be doing pool workouts depending on your time. If you have 10 hours a week to do triathlon and swimming is your weakness, you should be swimming 4 hours a week. And then, yeah, with Tower 26, exactly. Or wherever it may be that's convenient. But it's helpful if you can get a coach to administer your workouts and give some oversight to what you're doing. And then as the season progresses and the water warms up and training starts at the beach in May or June, then you go down every Wednesday and join those workouts. I think there are other workouts around, by the way. You just don't have to come to ours. There are others. The ones that we do are, I think, are more structured, from what I've been told. I haven't been to any of the others.
How are they structured?
Well, there's a coach in the case of me, and it's that's on the beach administering the workout and giving feedback, whereas most of the other swims are just get in and swim the course and exit. Yes. Yeah, Sarah.
Hi, for Smerling Ironman,
Yes.
and we have to swim without wetsuit and water really hot, I guess. So what's your strategy to train for that particular race?
What's the water temperature?
I think it's going to be
84?
It's about 80.
Mm.
So it's warm water. There's no wetsuit, which is good because it's actually a safety problem wearing a wetsuit when it's that warm. So you just have to make sure that you're doing a lot of practicing if you can. The closest you'll get is swimming in the pool, because swimming in the ocean it's 65, 62 to 66 degrees here. So you just need more, again, it's familiarity with what you're going to be doing. So open water swimming is going to be helpful, so you'll get that specific experience on the skills that's required in open water. But as far as water temperature, you need to do a fair amount of training in that, or as close to that temperature as possible. Yes.
Similar question, but looking at water temperatures that are in the 60s, 65, and a little bit warmer for training to go without a wetsuit. What's some advice?
So Southern California water temperatures range from 60 to 70 degrees. Set 60 to 70. You're going to do a race, how long?
It's Catalina relay.
So every 30-minute segments?
Hour.
1 hour segments?
6 swimmers.
Okay. So you're going to have to get in and start swimming, and it'll be in the summertime. 10 minutes the first time, then it'll be 20, and then it'll be 30, and you'll build up, and eventually you'll be able to swim an hour without your wetsuit in 66-degree water. But Here's the message: consistency, frequency, repetition, over and over and over, adaptation.
Are all your workouts in the Palisades, or do you have other pools too? Where you?
In the Palisades, but other pools are coming.
How should a wetsuit fit? What are the guidelines on that?
I haven't worn enough wetsuits to know how they all fit, but at the end of the day, you need to be reasonably comfortable. Can't be too tight. Max was talking about it earlier. You need a fair amount of flexibility under the armpits so that when you lift them up, it's easy to do. Not just one. Remember, it might be easy to do this 1 or 2 or 3 times. If you're swimming an Ironman, you'll be making about 7,000 of these movements. So it needs to be flexible enough and easy enough to keep doing this. Comfort.
Do you recommend that triathletes practice the other strokes other than the crawl?
This is a great question, you guys. Do you recommend triathletes practice the other strokes? Keep it in the context of how much time do I have, okay? And if I only have so much time, then it's freestyle. If I have more time, I can add some other strokes, especially backstroke, because the principles are the same. Head, hips, and feet in the same plane. You turn over on your back. We're practicing tautness and alignment. And then other strokes come after that. But for most of us, if you're just swimming, how many of us here swim 4 times a week or more? So the majority don't. If you're swimming 3 times a week or less, you're probably going to have 2%, 5% maybe of your workout time in another stroke. Anybody else? Oh, thank you. Matt Dixon and I do another number of things together professionally. We put on camps and clinics and so forth and so on. Matt Dixon is the coach of, well, Sarah and Jen and Chris Lieto and Lindsay Corbin and Sam McGlone and Meredith Kessler and all these names that you guys have read about. Matt's in town at the end of this month doing a running clinic, and I think there are 6 slots left. purplepatchfitness.com, or you can just type Matt Dixon's name in the web.
He was an LA Tri-member years ago.
And he was an LA Tri-member when he lived in LA. But I told him I'd mention it. I think there are 6 spots left for that clinic that's at the end of this month here in Los Angeles. He's coming down for it. Questions? We got about 30 seconds.
How important is genetics for swimming?
How important is genetics for swimming?
30-second question.
How important is genetics for any sport? Obviously, better genetics you have, the faster you're going to adapt. But at the end of the day, we can all learn to play the violin. Repetition, consistency, frequency, over and over and over and over. The person with better DNA is going to adapt faster. That's all there is. But we can all get there, everybody. One more question.
Well, are there some techniques that are specific to open water swimming versus pool swimming?
Are there techniques that are specific to open water swimming and pool swimming? Yes, they are. Top 2. We'll have another session as we get closer to the beginning of open water season, maybe April or May, and maybe we'll host it here or somewhere else, and I'll make a whole talk around that. The answer is yes. One last question.
What are your pool swims?
When are
Your pool swims?
our pool workouts? You guys we have 10 workouts a week, 3 on Monday, 1 on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday, 1 on Thursday, 2 on Friday, 1 on Saturday, early mornings, midday, night times.
Tower26.com.
Tower26.com in the Pacific Palisades.
Tower26.com.
And we'd love it if you guys can swim with us, but I recognize there's geography and there are other issues. But it's important that you stick to some program with frequency and repetition and all the things we talked about tonight. You guys have my email address, or you can find it on Tower26.com.